My name is Will Rogers, and I'm 35 years old. I am in Lake George, New York.
My name is Carnell Hampton. I am 31, and I am in Santa Ana, California. I was born and raised in Long Beach, California. My birthday is February 26, 1990. I was the baby, my older sister, and then my brother, and then me. My mom was a single parent. She worked 2 jobs, working 16 hours a day. I was pretty much being raised by my older brother. He'll come pick me up from daycare, take me to the park. My brother went off to college. So when he had left, that did take a toll of my life because he was also like my father.
Yeah.
So I'll wake up to go to school. My mom wasn't there because she already left to go to work. Came home from school, my mom wasn't there. Like when I used to go to sleep, my mom wasn't there. She'll just now be getting home like at midnight. I graduated from high school in 2008. Then also in 2011, 12, I did a trade school, medical assistance at this trade school called Charter Communications. But I didn't get my diploma because I didn't pay off the school loan tuition in total.
Man.
At that time, I was just doing it just to make my mom happy and proud or whatever. I had like a downfall in my life where I was doing drugs. Also, my mom had passed. In 2018, I had my first son. In 2018, I started doing security. One day, I'm not feeling good. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a half day. The next day, I said, you know what? I still felt under the weather.
Is this last year?
Yes. For me, my day 3 was the worst day of all. So I asked my lady to take me down to St. Joseph's. When I got to the hospital, the only thing I remember was being in ICU. Technically, I wake up 2 weeks later in the middle of dialysis with the whole tube coming out of my neck. Sorry for my language, but I was like, where the F am I? Man, I forgot I even checked myself into the hospital. Because of COVID, you get these black marks on your hands, on your thighs. So in my head, I'm looking at myself. They look like burnt marks. So in my head, I was like, damn, did my lady try to burn me up? What is going on? They was like, no, Mr. Hampton, you was here because of COVID. And then I also had kidney failure.
And you said tube coming out your neck. What did you mean by that?
I was in the process of getting dialysis.
Oh.
They said they was trying to put tubes down my mouth and my nose, and I kept snatching it out.
What happened next?
My feet are so swollen. Those pills that they gave me cuts off arteries in your body. So I didn't have no blood flow to my feet for those 2 weeks that I was on the incubator. The swelling started turning into blisters. My toe colors, they was about like a darker brown. I was starting to get a little bit of coloration back into my feet. You know, I'm moving my toes and everything. I left St. Joseph Hospital September 15th, 2020. I went to a skilled nursing facility. Before I went there, I was able to get up with the walker, walk.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got to the wound care lady, she was telling me like, oh, you shouldn't be walking with these wounds on your feet. So I'm going to ask the doctor to order you not to walk anymore. And they said, no, you're no weight bearing. So pretty much I couldn't put no pressure on my feet because of the wounds. I feel like the fact that she was wrapping my feet, she was wrapping them a little too tight. My toes went completely black. I started to meet my podiatrist, a wonderful guy, man. He's amazing. I met him, I think, around end of September, beginning of October. When I first met him, he was like, give me about 6 months. I'm going to try to save your foot. Man, other things started happening. October 24th, I got readmitted back into the hospital. They had people come look at my feet, look at my toes technically to see what was going on, to see if it was actually worth saving. It wasn't. So November 2nd is when I got my 10 toes amputated. I had this bone exposure on my right heel. The skin wasn't growing over the bone. Out of 6 months, only 10% skin growth over that bone.
Skipping forward, you had exposed bone on your right heel. You had all 10 toes amputated. They're trying to help the skin heal over the exposed bone site.
I guess I just had something going on with the right heel to where like the bone was exposed. My amputation for my right leg was May 20th. What made me even consider of the amputation was because my second son, his name is Nathan Carnell Hampton. He was born February 24th. When I first seen him and held him, in my head, it's like, man, I got to do what I got to do to get home. I was trying to be so strong, man, but when they left, I got back to my room and I started crying. So after my right leg amputation, it was May 10th of 21. I was still up in the hospital after that. I left May 20th from St. Joseph's. They did like a whole big clap out for me.
How many days was it?
In total, from August 12th was 295 days. Now that I'm home, it's like, man, I finally, like, I did it.
One other question I have is, we've got a whole series of stories that we're doing separate from the regular Hear Me Now program that's all about Black and Indigenous people of color stories going through healthcare systems.
Okay.
Is there anything you would want to say about what it's like to go through this whole process as a Black man?
As being a Black man, it was one of the best experiences. Even though I never been hospitalized, just the different cultures that you catch at St. Joseph's. You have your Filipinos, just the Asian community. You have the white, you have the Hispanic community. You rarely have a Black community at that hospital. Me, as being a Black man, able to connect with all these people was so amazing. It was like breathtaking. I connected with everybody, man.
Yeah.
Now, I'm that type of spirit too. I'm not like, oh no, you're not my kind. Like, I don't want to talk to you. No, I'm a people's person. I've been like that since I was a little kid. That would be a good example of people coming together.
I'm really encouraged to hear that.
Getting kind of foggy at the throat talking about it, because I don't think the nurses and like staff members at St. Joseph's, I don't think they like see me as a Black man. They just see me as a human being.